come down to the streets, man. We got everything you need, the mango, the coconut, the lime. Please understand it, this is the real thing, man. Bahana, 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 mother. Red love, hungover Sunday love. Come over.
What's up, guys? This is Kori Maria back at it again with another video. And today we are going to be doing a college Q&A / what it's like being black at a PWI. So first off, we're going to go down the line and introduce ourselves with our name and our major.
Hello everyone, I'm Saplu. I'm currently a microbiology major.
Hi, I'm Shay. Most of you guys already know me. I'm a computer science major.
Hi, I'm Jordan. I'm a mechanical engineering major.
I'm Corey. I'm a material science and engineering major.
I'm Eric. I'm an environmental engineering major.
I'm Ahmed and I'm a neuroscience major.
We are all sophomores here at the University of Michigan. So we're going to get right into it with some questions.
Personally, for me, I just wanted a really good institution that I could go to. I wanted a big school, and Michigan is definitely one of the bigger ones. It's also the #1 public university in America, so that really appealed to me in that sense that I knew that I'd get a good education. And then I was also interested in research, and there's a lot of research opportunities here.
Michigan has really good work-play balance. Obviously, it's a Division I school athletically, and obviously it's a top institution, as Saplu pointed out. So there's people who know how to work hard and also play hard. So that was what I looked forward to.
For me, U of M gave me the best opportunities financially, because anywhere else I was looking, I wasn't being as well taken care of as I was here at U of M. So I know that that was a big factor in me coming here.
My favorite thing about U of M is sports, because you got the D1 football team, even though they just kind of let us down a bit, and then we have the basketball team doing us good right now. I go to as many sporting events as I can. I love being in there. The atmosphere is great. It's always hype. It's fun.
Yeah, just to kind of piggyback off what Eric said, you don't really have to be a sports fan to kind of go to the games. It's always like a good time to hang out with friends and stuff, get some stuff off your mind on the weekend and whatnot. So even if you're not a sports fan, it's a good plus for the school.
My least favorite thing about U of M is that it's in Ann Arbor. All you really have is this school, the people on this campus, like, especially because I'm from Chicago, and Chicago is just such a diverse environment. There's always something to do at all times. Here, if there's nothing going on campus, there's literally nothing to do.
Okay, so just a quick little side note. I'm currently editing this video, and I just realized there are a few things to do in Ann Arbor, but they just get old after you do them so often. Like, you can go to a restaurant, walk up and down the streets of downtown Ann Arbor, and then you can hit up the Lounge, Cantina, clubs like that. It's stuff to do, but not much. Definitely not much. Okay, back to the video.
That's very interesting.
There's not much diversity here either.
Yeah.
Which kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Like, the black community knows everybody, and it's so small.
Google Calendar.
Oh, most definitely.
Yes.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
have to
that's
plan
right.
out stuff. Just have your days planned out ahead.
Oh, if you have a sort of like a schedule that keeps you out of like the dorm or the apartment for most of the day, but you have like an hour break or something, try to fill in that hour break without necessarily like always going back to the dorm or to the apartment. Because for what I end up doing is I just end up like napping or like wasting time. Mm-hmm. Whereas you can you could like get some lunch or something, or you can go to the library for that hour or whatever and get some extra studying in, or get some food in you, so that you can like have a more productive day. Because if you end up going into the cycle where like you just go back home and sleep and go back home and sleep, you end up, if you do something else another day, you'll just be tired during that hour and then tired for the rest of your day.
I like that.
That was a compliment. Like, that's big.
Oh, this is me all the way. For me, I try to get as much work done as possible for the weekdays, so I can party on the weekends. Or if I have an exam on Monday, or if I have a lot of work to do on the weekends, I try to really put in work Saturday morning and afternoon, so I can party Saturday night. So like, you just have to give and take, kind of. Like, I reward myself like with going out and partying by like from the work that I do. I actually get the work done ahead of time.
The amount of time that we had, I didn't realize how much free time we actually had. Well, free time, because it's not really free time, but like how much time it is to account for.
Because you're saying like
in high school.
You're saying like because in high school it was like 8 days and 8 hours in like the same building all day.
Yeah.
And it's like you have like a set thing. You don't really do anything. It's all set for you. But in college, you get to pick the time for your class. For the most part, you get to pick like the time for your classes and all that stuff. So you're much more independent as well as having a lot of free time, which could be dangerous for some people.
Yeah, and your classes aren't back to back anymore, so sometimes you have to account for like these 2-hour breaks in between your classes, and you're just like, how do you deal with that? So that's like a learning curve that you have to kind of figure out on your own.
Also with that, like the proportion of work to class time, like you'll have class for like 1 hour Monday, Wednesday, and Friday in a week, but the amount of work you have to put outside of class is like 12, 14 hours for that class, you know? So it's like in high school, like you're used to like doing your homework or like even getting a little bit started like during classes, and you have like 30 minutes of homework outside or whatever. But like here, like you have so much work to do outside of class for you to be prepared for like an hour lecture. So just really finding that balance too was very difficult.
Calculus 3!
No,
Calculus 3!
Each lady is the hardest class I've ever taken in life.
Any calculus?
Any calculus. But especially the third one. Because
no, especially the second one.
Second one was
wait. Harder than the second one.
You had to work
calculus.
In conclusion, we got Calc 3, well, all Calc at U of M. We got EECS 280.
Physics 140.
Physics,
and 240. Well, not 240.
Physics 140 almost took me out the game.
Your work doesn't always translate into your grade. So you just have to be ready to potentially work hard and not always get the result.
But sometimes it's not working harder, it's like
smarter.
Figuring out a different way to study. Because another class is very hard that I just finished, me and Sop just finished, is, and Kori. It's Orgo 1, and I know that for the first exam, I studied a lot differently than I did for the last 3 exams, and I did significantly better on the last 3 exams. For every class and subject, there's different ways to study, and I think it's about finding those different ways. And sometimes it's different for people. Like you got to figure out the best way to learn for you, and then just ride with that.
Yuck! I never. Hold on, let me make sure this is still recording.
The hardest thing to get used to in college is being around people who weren't raised the same as you. So like they didn't have the same home training as you, and like they just don't have the same like mannerism and stuff like that. That's the hardest thing, because people will run into you, not say excuse me, or like people just sneeze and not cover their mouths. So like small little things that people are not considerate basically sometimes, and that's something you have to get used to here.
I also think that the food is hard to get used to.
Yeah. Something that was hard getting used to for me was learning how to like live with somebody else, even though I had my own room like since I was like 10 or something. It was kind of hard.
That's true.
But Shay really made the process a lot easier because she kind of clean. Not really, but she's kind of clean.
Wait a minute.
Okay, in the second part of that, sophomore year, I had to get used to being alone because now I live in a single. I actually like being alone a lot better. That's like no offense to Shay, but I figured out that I like my own space. So I like having time to myself.
That's true.
So.
What about you, though? Do you like your own space?
Yeah, I do.
The single is a great choice. In my opinion.
I used to play music, and I thought it was so cool. Like, is it fine for me to play this music? Most of the time, she'd be like, "Okay, fine," but
it's because all she listened to is Michael Jackson.
What?
No, it's Charlie Wilson.
Her?
That's cool.
No. She listens to Michael Jackson. I listen to Charlie Wilson.
That's a hell of a room.
That's a hell of a room.
That's a great room.
I mean, I agree.
Fantastic.
I like Queen, but
which is any more hardest things to get used to in college?
You said it, right? All the free time you have?
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, you have all this time, you have all this freedom, you live alone now. A lot of the free time you have is going to be filled up with like normal chores that you most of the time wouldn't have been doing as easily or as much. So it's like laundry, finding the time to feed yourself, be healthy, because the biggest thing is health. Not only like physically but mentally, you know, making sure you stay ready for class. So I don't think it's like there's one thing you can say is the hardest. I think it's just like a big bunch of a lot of stuff.
College is hard.
Big bunch, a lot of stuff.
In conclusion,
No, it's hard but fun.
we got a few.
I don't feel
So
limited at all. For real.
yeah, I
And
don't feel
think that's
limited
good.
at all. I feel like I have the same opportunity as.
If anything, a bit more.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
I was gonna say
Because
that.
like we're minorities, like we can
Yeah.
like kind of get like.
And STEM, Comprehensive Studies Program,
That's
Bridge. And a lot of schools have Bridge, not just Michigan. They call it different themes, but it's called Bridge here.
A lot of different like black groups on campus have sort of their own like mentorship or like different, not necessarily programs, but like ways to integrate like the
Connect with
freshmen,
people.
connections and stuff like that.
We have SIBS, NSB has a mentorship program.
Yeah.
B3.
CEDO.
Mhm.
CEDO.
Oh,
has
yeah,
mentoring,
yeah.
Oh yeah.
But like the biggest thing is to just like, even if you're not part of MSTEM or something like that, just get into like get into an org or something, because that's the best way to meet people, is through org, and it just expands from there.
You can be an out-of-state student and not do summer programs and like still make friends. So I came in out-of-state student and as an out-of-state student, and all I knew literally was Kori and his student, my roommate, and that was it. But then from just like knowing my roommate and hanging out with her, I was able just to grow and make other friends. So you don't have to do a program to make friends. Your roommate can be your buddy and you can be fine with that. Kori can tell you freshman year I was a very social person. So like we have a group chat, well, group meet, it's called Black Fumish, and like there's a lot of black people in there, of course. There's like a group meet chat just for our class, and I'll just ask people randomly if anybody wants to go get lunch with me or whatever, and then people will be like, yeah, and then I'll just go get lunch with random people in the dining halls different days.
She
Don't
was
do that.
so good at She was
No, you
so
can do
good at
that.
that. No, you can do that if you're that type of person.
If you're shy.
If you're that type of person, definitely.
Yeah, and that's how I met a lot of people. Just go get lunch with them, and then if you guys click, then be friends. If not, you guys just have lunch.
And even then, like,
Nobody will watch.
what I did like some of the times too was just like, if you see like a black person just walking or something, you know, dap them up, like,
Give
good
them the
night,
nod,
whatever.
you know.
Right.
Say hey. Because then
Oh,
you'll
yeah.
probably see them again.
Oh,
And then
you are going to see them
spark a conversation. Yeah, definitely.
Wait, what
spark a conversation.
Oh, it's not gonna be like that every time. Some are
some
going
are
to grim
rude.
you.
There's some
They gonna grim you and keep walking. So
Different.
The black community is so bittersweet. It's just a lot of things happening in the black community all the time.
Super competitive.
It's super competitive within itself.
Wait, it is.
Yeah,
And
because
really-
the school's competitive.
Yeah.
When you add like layers to it,
It's crazy.
yeah.
there are black organizations on campus where it's really easy to make black friends.
There's a song in my head. It's by Queen.
Hey, don't
Crazy. They will say the comments.
Yeah, so my first semester of sophomore year, I was in a public health class. And you know, public health, they focus on like different inequalities and inequities in our healthcare system, which for the most part is centered around black individuals. So I would just be shook in that class because they start talking about how like highest like infant mortality rates are a part of the black community, like majority of black people are on Medicare and stuff. And it really just be like the white people in the class that would try like to say like what the issues in the black community are, like they really know what it is. And it's like crazy because especially at like a PWI, there's so many white people trying to speak on behalf of black people, and like you'll see that even if you take an AAS class, like all your professors are white.
What's an AAS? What's AAS?
African American Studies class, like all your professors are white. And it's like,
It's actually Afro-American African Studies.
oh crap.
Let them know.
Yes, what was it again?
Afro-American African Studies.
Yeah, so all those classes that are like centered around black individuals like will be taught by white people. And it's crazy because like you can even see in regards to faculty and staff, like there's not much black representation, and then it also filters down to the students that they have at the school that there are not as many black students either. So I don't know, just coming to terms that like you're gonna have white people trying to teach you about you, and it's not like some of the stuff they might say is invalid, but you can't like fight that, you can't argue that. You just have to go what they're doing, pass that class and get out of the class and stuff. So
I feel that. white people like to speak on behalf of the black community.
A lot.
A lot.
And not even like in the racial aspect, as far as like gender goes, I felt uncomfortable. Last year when I was in my physics lab, I was in a group with all men, and I was the only girl or woman. So like whenever I would like be like, oh, this is right, you know, the teacher said for us to do this, they'd be like, you don't know what you're talking about. And they kind of had their chairs positioned where I was like kind of out of the group and I didn't have a say so in the lab project. So it kind of made me feel as though I had to fight a little bit more for my voice to be heard, and it made me uncomfortable because I don't think that I should do that. I should have to do that. You know, I think that my voice should be heard just as equally as yours.
Those are boys, not men.
Yeah, those are boys, not men. Yeah.
Okay. Sometimes, well, a lot of times actually, I feel very uncomfortable, like academic wise, because I went to a public school for high school. I went to a public school in Chicago, where it's like not many of my skills were like are as like good as many of the people I'm in class with right now. So like if I was sitting in a lecture, I feel like a lot of more people would understand straight up what the professor's saying a lot sooner than I would. But I think it's just all about how I'm able to like combat that and study more and whatnot, study harder, study smarter and whatnot to like make up for that. But yeah, I feel a lot, like especially freshman year, I felt very uncomfortable in class because I felt like I wasn't getting anything right, I wasn't understanding anything. But yeah.
On the topic of like being in class, like when you're the only black person in your class, like I don't know why, but it just kind of like does something to my head a little bit, where it's just like you look out and you see that you're the only one in the class, and it's just like a weird feeling to have, especially like when you come from a high school where, like, I came from a very diverse high school and it wasn't like just a racially dominated class, so it was just kind of like a shock to kind of see that.
Yeah, because like I mentioned, my freshman year was hard for me, and like what he said, being one of the only black people in your class, I was in a chem lecture hall, which is like 500 seats or something, and there were like 390 students in there in my class, and I looked around the first day, I was one of 3 black people in that class.
The Michigan State game freshman year.
Oh,
it was pouring rain.
That was pretty cool.
Was
Everyone was sick after that.
Dustin.
I wasn't sick. I was.
You were good, but like
I was sick before it, so I think the rain like washed that away. But it was great.
It washed my coat.
It washed
all that.
Okay.
I think my favorite was the Wisconsin game this year.
Oh, I went with you.
That was hype. You were on TV. You were on ESPN. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I love that one. Sporting events are always fun.
Sporting events were fun, especially when we went to championships. That was fun. That like the playoffs, just like
like street chanting.
Yeah,
every one.
yeah.
Oh,
like advancing to every round and like the streets going crazy, and like either you're at Buffalo Wild Wings or Pizza House, and then your ride's going crazy. That was a nice little couple of weeks.
Oh, Nesby Conference.
Yes,
course.
Exactly. Last year was so much fun. It was in Pittsburgh. We were away from school for 5 days. We were doing whatever we wanted to. But then it was like, you saw, like, you were just walking around the streets of Pittsburgh and all you saw was just like waves of black engineers. Like, it was just phenomenal. And the conference itself was so well put on. There was so many companies and stuff. It was just a really good, fun, enlightening experience.
My favorite memory is meeting these beautiful black people.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
that's not one memory.
Oh my god! Wow, I'm crying.
Thank you.
I think it is. Like it's a whole bunch of memories clumped together.
Okay, but I got another memory to put in here. Besides meeting my friends, my best memory at U of M has to be the Michigan versus Michigan State black tailgate that happened last year. It was at Michigan, and it was just a black tailgate. It was just so much fun. And people were just having good, clean fun. It was to the point where people was out doing the hustle in the middle of the street, y'all. It was bomb. It was lit. It was so fun. Yeah, that's probably like my best experience here, as far as like party-wise, because I don't go to many parties. But yeah, I had to put that in there. All right, back to the video.
All right, last question. If you haven't spoken about your memory, please let me know. Say something.
If I could turn back time. Y'all know that song?
I know that song.
Okay.
Maybe if you sang it different.
don't try to do things on your own.
Never give up. Really.
Ask for help.
Don't be afraid if you don't like where you're at right away. Like, it takes time sometimes. So
don't be afraid to fail.
Yeah. I think it matters where you start, really, but it's more about like the process and like the journey. Because I know I didn't like the way I started freshman year, but then I like my standing now. So just know you can always improve and get better.
Don't be afraid to take risks and stuff, because like coming in, there's so many people who think they know what your abilities are, and they'll tell you, oh, you can't. Like, if you know your own strengths, do you? And even if you do get rejected or you do fail and stuff, you learn from those mistakes and you move forward. Like, don't let people tell you who you are.
Don't make the same mistake twice.
Definitely.
Learn from your mistake.
If it didn't work the first time, it probably won't work the second time or the third time.
Take advantage of everything because you're paying enough money.
Yeah.
For all of these things, you might as well.
What else? Tutoring. What else?
Yeah, that's
tutoring.
Study abroad programs.
Yeah.
They pay for that. Everything.
Maybe summer classes if you're like not doing anything in the summer.
Yeah.
Or make use of your summers. Actually.
Research, yes.
Make use of your summers.
Everything. Take advantage. If they serve coffee and donuts every Wednesday, go get that.
Oh yeah, it's always free food around campus.
Look for like office jobs or something where you can like sit and do some
the library
while you get paid.
Don't forget to eat.
Food's good.
Yes.
Yeah,
Don't forget.
I know it's rough at the dining.
That's real though. Like, you could really forget to eat.
Don't forget.
I lost 9 pounds last year. Use your university health services when you're sick and whatnot.
She turned it into it.
No, real talk. They have free flu shots. And like they I don't know what school you guys go to, but like U of M, we have a dental program here, and there's a lot of grad students who like have to like work on people, I guess, to like get their credentials or whatever. So like you can go get a filling or go get your teeth cleaned or whatever for free. So I go out, I do party, but going out doesn't just mean partying. You go get food with friends, and you guys go hang out, have a movie night and stuff like that.
You should teach me your
And fun doesn't have to be, doesn't have to be going
That is
out.
true.
You can stay in and still have fun. You do not have to go out to have fun.
Right.
You do not have to drink to have fun.
You do not have to drink to have
I
fun.
love to nap.
Oh yeah, I haven't had a drop.
Okay.
A drop.
Yeah, wow.
I ain't take a drop.
A drop.
Not a drop.
Not a drop.
Okay, you can have a drop.
All right. On that note, I think we're probably going to wrap up this video. Thank you guys for tuning in. Shay,
Back up.
do not move into the camera. Oh my gosh. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Wait, I can't go any farther.
Are you doing this?
Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know what videos you guys want to see in the future.
That's what we needed. Oh, damn.
God, I can't even.
I appreciate each and every one of you guys' support. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the.
Do not take. Oh my god! Oh my god!
See you guys.
I already know what y'all are wondering. Is the camera okay? Is Kori okay? Yes, I'm fine. The camera's okay too. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.